What is up, everybody? Crypto Prepper here. Today is Wednesday, February 25th, 2026. And it has been a little boring this last week, except for today. We had a nice little jump. Doesn't really show on this chart here, but what I want to talk about today is these grid bots that I keep mentioning. And I just wanted to talk about them real quick and show you how to set one up. But like I said, there's pros and cons, and it's may not be the right fit for everyone. But just in case it is the right fit for you, I wanted to talk about it. So, uh, some of the pros and of these grid bots that I like is that they pay more often than because you see more activity in these than you do in the DCA bots. So even on boring action days, my grid bots paid me 53 XRP, and they paid me in the stable coins, but I just, for this post, I converted it to XRP. So you can get an idea. That was a 140 per XRP. So anyway, even on the boring days, these things are gonna give you some action, and they're gonna, make you feel good. They'll give you the little warms and fuzzies. I'm sorry, I didn't give you that warning. When I switched over to this tab, I didn't mean to switch to this tab. But since we're on it, we can talk about this platform, Bitscap. If you're interested in starting these bots, you can check out the link in the description. It is a referral link. It'll won't change your price, but it will support the channel and it'd be much appreciated. But you can do all this stuff that I'm talking about on this basic plan. So I when I started in 2021, late 2021, early 2022, I just went straight for the advanced. Um, and but you can do all this with the basic. The only thing that you're not going to be able to, you're going to have a back test available, a possibility of 30 days versus 180 or 365 days. So, you're not going to start out with the pro more often than not. But that's what I'm here for is I can do that 365-day back test for you if you are looking to set up a DCA bot and want to get an idea of what you can expect APY yearly return from. So anyway, check that out if you're interested. And what I wanted to do was go back to this one and talk about this is the oldest running one I have currently, uh, and that I started the night of the liquidation around the 240 range. So price has fallen 40%, but if I were to close this bot out, I would actually only lose 21%. So I'm not obviously not going to do close this bot out because it pays me every day, even on the boring days. And it's also produced a 13% return in the last 4 months, 4.5 months. So that's pretty damn good. It's on track. I think if you take this average daily return, 0.09%, that will annualize out to 32% APY. So I like these because they pay out every day. And then another thing I like about them too is they are easy to modify. You can go into your bot actions, modify the bot, and actually, if you needed some cash real quick, you could delete a couple of these lower lines and take that cash if you needed to without closing the bot entirely. Um, so that's another thing that I like about them. But what I've mentioned before, and I'll reinforce today, is that these bots do require more capital to start out with than the DCA bots. So the DCA bots I typically talk about that I like, they can be started with as little as 1,000. With the grid bot, I like to do at least five, but in this case, to show you this, I'm gonna do 10,000. So you can start the start bot here and then click grid bot. Choose your exchange, your pairing here, and then the investment that you want to put in. Um, so, like I said, $10,000 for this example. And then what you want to do on this is zoom out as far as you can. Um, and then if you needed to change if it's not letting you zoom out far enough to see over a year of action, or even more if you wanted, then what you can do is you can change this to a day or even 12 hours, and it should let you zoom out to, yeah, a good, this is almost what, let's see. Oh, yeah, 2 years. Okay. So, what we want to do is you're looking at the entire chart, and you can take your high price up to the top, and then you can even take your low price down to the bottom. So that will give you the best coverage, uh, of the last, 2 years in this case. But say you wanted to be a little bit, this is pretty conservative because you, I don't know the chances of it falling down back down to 48 cents or 50 cents, but I do see the possibility of it retesting this dollar support again. So it popped up and tested it in here, November of 2024. And if you go back far enough, Coinbase relist, oh, so it's not one to show on this, but Coinbase relisted XRP in July of 2023, and it hit a buck that time. So, um, it's got pretty strong support, and if it does fall below a buck, it's not going to be for very long. So you can kind of play that as you see fit, which this is maybe another con of the grid bots is that you do have to be more in tune with what the market is doing and where you're at in the cycle to really to optimize these. And I won't get to how I optimized mine, but if you go from low to high over the last year and 3 4 year and 3 months, year and 4 months now, you're gonna have pretty good coverage. So let's do a 365-day back test, um, and see what that would give us. Before we do this, I want to um, point out that the low price matters more than the high price. So you don't have to guess on how far you think it's going to go because these grid bots are automatically set, and I'll show you in the settings, they're automatically defaulted to trail up. So as price gets above this range, it's actually going to take these orders out, these buy orders down here out, and then uh, purchase and turn them into sell orders up here. So you're going to uh, be able to capitalize on those moves. So now that we've got our range set here between a buck and 365, yeah, 365, we can ignore the grid step percentage on here because that's automatically set because the max that we can do is 100 levels. And so I would just leave it at that, um, and go from there. So let's see. See what I said about trailing up, how it's um, automatically going to trail up, and you can click on the little eye here to see what that means. Pump protection, you I would take this off too, just because if it does rocket up, it's going to automatically do those orders, and with this long range, uh, once it gets up here, you're very unlikely to come back and come out of range again down here. So we'll just take pump protection off. And then if you wanted to protect yourself even more and have it trail down, you could click on that. And if it has any, say it pops up here and it's created a little bit more USDC here in this case for you, and then it does fall back down here, then it can utilize that USDC that you have in your wallet and get those buy orders set and filled. So that might be something that you want to do. And if you don't have, if you if you end up not having any uh, capital for it to trail down, it just won't do it. So it's not going to close out these sell orders up here and create buy orders down here. So, and then you can also set where you want it to trail down at. So the chances of it getting down oops, that's 5 cents and stuff. So stop trailing down at 50, whatever you wanted to have that set down to. So, and we won't mess with stop loss or take profit here because it's going to be taking profit on each one of these lines. And then um, what I forgot to talk about is how this bot acts. So when it buys, when it hits these green lines, it will buy. In this case, with it being a $10,000 bot, it's going to buy $100 worth of XRP because 100 or $10,000 divided by 100 order lines, each order is going to have $100 on it. So it's going to buy here, and then what it'll do is it'll create a new sell order around here. And then so then if it pops up and sells, then it'll create a buy order down here in case it drops again and allows you to buy again. And that's why you see so many red and greens here. So each green is a buy, each red is a sell, and it's the bot is formulated, programmed to never sell at a loss. So it's only going to buy if it's created that sell order from a lower buy order, if that makes any sense. So it's not going to sell at a loss and grab money out of your USD wallet unless you tell it to trail down. So anyway, let's go back on the setup. So it buys and sells all the time, so you don't need to take profit. It's automatically taking profit for you. Let's run this back test and see how this bot would have performed in the last 365 days, assuming you had it set with these settings between $1 and 365, $3.65. So you can see it's caught all this action and produced that income all throughout the year. So in this case, starting with $10,000, you now have uh, almost $2,500 in your wallet, in your USDC wallet, 2,459, and then you still have that bot working for you. So the bot, let's see, in this case, it's dropped down. Um, I can't tell exactly where this started. So, oh, your break-even price here is 222. So it's, let's see, we can do the math here real quick. Let's do this. So, the bot, if you were to close it out, you would realize a 33% P&L loss, but that is before the 24% gain. So your 24% is automatically in your USDC wallet. The 33% is unrealized loss, and you would only realize that if you were to close out the bot. So, and liquidate the XRP. So anyway, you're probably not going to do that unless you really, really need to. So, 24% gain on that. That is pretty slick. And the bot that I have here that I started the day of the liquidation on October 11th, I think it was, or the night, October 10th on that night. It is on track to produce a 32% APY. So uh, both of those are pretty impressive, and you're not going to get anywhere close to this in a bank. Or even if you could stake XRP. Here, let me do something because I always forget that. I don't always forget, but I forgot to mention here. Your trading fee might be a little different, so ignore that 24%. And let's just say you're paying the max fee on Coinbase 0.4%. So that is going to take your APY over the last 365 days down to 16.82. which is still pretty damn good. And there's nothing to say. Um, it's going to be lower. Your trading fee is going to be lower than this because on Coinbase they automatically adjust your fee based on your previous 30-day volume. So with this size of bot, you're going to have some nice volume and it's going to add up quick and it's going to really take your trading fee down. So 16.82% worst case scenario. It showed my uh, current trading fee on Coinbase at 0.07. And that, let's see if that changes anything. Because sometimes it acts weird. 24. Yeah. So pretty much the same. I think mine have been 24.5 something before. You can rewind if you care. But so that's what that looks like. And that's a little bit more than half of what the DCA bots would have gotten you. So if you weigh those pros and cons for yourself and decide that GridBot is a good fit in your portfolio, and with that basic plan, I'm not going to blind you again. You can set up 3 GridBots and then on top of the 10 DCA bots that you can use on the basic plan. So anyway, hopefully that helps and makes a little bit more sense why I talk about those GridBots every so often, and helps you out in your bot journey. All right. So thanks for watching. Give me a thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel if you want to see more. Leave me your favorite coin in the comments. I'm going to start revisiting the DCA bots and see what difference I think it's been a month and a half since I've revisited ETH, and it was a month between the two Bitcoin videos. But uh, so we'll start maybe doing more frequent videos and revisiting some of the at least the top 10 now that I've got a little bit more time. I don't need to take my wife to her radiation appointments every day. She's done with that, thank goodness. And um, anyway, we'll see you on the next one. Thanks for watching, guys. Have a good one. Bye.